Good morning. I'm Rosemary, and this is the Lightwalker's Path podcast. And I'm your host, and I have a place for inspiring guests, enlightened conversation, and a wonderful way for you to open up to the things that you may not know about on my show. And my guest today is Charles Grant, who first realized he had a psychic gift at age 8, which I'm going to ask you about.
Okay.
He conducted thousands of readings across the globe. He is one of the best known psychic mediums in the Boston suburbs. And he kicked into high gear in the 1990s when he prevented a friend from boarding a plane that would have crashed, Flight 111, in September of 1998. Then he knew he had a gift he had to share with the world, and his mission is to uplift and help people understand their own soul journey. So I'm so excited to talk to you today, Charles.
Oh,
How are
me
you?
too. Me too. It's exciting to talk to you, Rosemary.
Thank you. Thank you. So I wanted to first ask you because as a as a former school teacher, retired teacher, I'm always interested in how gifts present themselves in children. And you said you were age 8, which was the age I taught, where your gift manifested. So I want to ask you, what is some of the memories you had that you knew you were connected, but like you thought everybody was, I'm sure, right? What were some of the
Right.
you experienced at that age?
Well, it's kind of funny. The backdrop of this story is, so I was age 8 and I'm walking on our street where my dad still lives. God love
Okay.
him. He's 89 and a half,
Oh, bless.
and
Okay.
he's hanging in there. And I'm walking on my street, and ironically, as I'm looking, piecing it all together, but I'll tell you the story. Ironically, the residence that I was attracted to was 11 on there, and 11 is one of my major numbers. I
Yes.
would find out later. 11 is a
Me
major
too.
psychic number too.
Yep.
And
Yep.
here it was 11 on the road that we were on, and we were just on a little horseshoe road. It's not a big road.
Right.
Anyway, and I see these two beautiful, and I mean, it is as clear as day. Obviously I'm not 8 anymore. It's been a long time, but
Yeah.
I'm seeing these two beautiful white cats on the
Mm-hmm.
driveway. And I have a big connection to animals. I always
Mm-hmm.
have. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
from before that point. And I'm just, and I'm not a rule breaker as a kid. I'm like, oh, am
Mm-hmm.
I trespassing? I'm like, no, I just need to see these cats. So I go down the driveway and I see these two cats, and they're just beautiful. They were just white and sort of tabby-ish too,
Mm-hmm.
and just like when an
Yeah.
animal just vibrates,
Yeah.
right? And so I see these two cats, and I'm like, oh my God, they're so beautiful. I love them so much, and I'm petting them, and they're not running. We're all
Yeah.
there together, right? And then I walk up, and again, I was not a shy kid, but for me at that point to go up and knock on the door, and we kind of knew those neighbors, but not all
Right.
that well.
Right.
And anyway, I knock on the door and I say, hey, the mom of the house comes to the door, okay, and I'm like, hey, where'd those two cats come from? Okay, they're so beautiful. And then she tells me, yeah, Rosemary, this is a good story. I'm like, oh, as I'm telling this, okay, she tells me that, well, one of them's the mom cat and one of them's the baby cat, who's about a year and a half at that point, I believe. And she said, and so I had a beautiful seal point Siamese cat walking around my house several months ago, whatever it takes
Yeah.
to add up to that baby. And she said, and I took him, I put him in the basement with the girl cat, and they had that baby. Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Guess what? That cat was my cat.
Huh.
Okay, that was my cat down the street, a
Oh,
Seal
funny.
Point Siamese. And when
Yeah.
I was looking at who would become Kimba, okay, I
Mm-hmm.
was looking at the baby cat, and my cat's face was flashing on it.
Oh, so you
Okay,
knew.
and
Yeah.
that I just was like, I think there's a connection,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
I just felt it. But I'm like, what's
Yeah.
happening? Because they really didn't look that much alike on the
So you were just
surface.
getting like the psychic a
the
connection there.
psychic connection. And so and I remembered back to whenever that time was, my brothers and I were crying because my cat Bucky was gone for three
Oh, there
days.
you go.
Okay, we're
Well,
like, what happened to my
Bucky was having
cat?
fun.
He was having fun. He had the time of his life. So he was,
Yeah.
and he has this baby cat who
Oh,
ironically, this is also, how
yeah.
the angels work in a lot of different ways. That cat had been, by the way, was one of the most beautiful combinations of cat. I mean, you Siamese and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
tabby,
yeah.
and our vets even were like, it's too bad he was neutered because he could be a whole new breed. Like he was just
Yeah.
a beautiful cat. And um and so it was interesting that, after all of this, I said to her, I said, oh, sorry, I was coming back
That's
to the
okay.
story.
That's a lot of detail about that
There's a
cat.
there's a lot of details about the cat. Anyway, he had been adopted out to a woman who couldn't take care of him because she was blind. And I was like, oh my God, here's this most beautiful cat, and this poor
Hmm.
woman can't even appreciate him because poor thing is blind.
Yeah.
So they had returned the cat, and then I came in
You got the
and
cat.
I got the cat. We adopted the cat.
Got it.
Father and son fought their whole lives, okay,
Yeah.
at home, but it was,
Yeah.
reunited. And then
Yeah.
years later, I was driving up to a place called Haverhill, Mass, for a surprise birthday party for somebody. And the surprise, I was the surprise as the
Yeah.
psychic,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Right.
And I go up there, and on my way up there, a truck drives in front of me. Nothing scary, just pops up in front of me with the license plate Kimbo, which was
Yeah.
the
There
name
you
of the
go.
cat.
That happens to me all the time. Isn't that cool?
And again, it's
Yeah,
those
you know
things.
it's a
People are
message.
like, is it a coincidence? I'm like, there
No,
are no
no, it's a
coincidences.
message. It's a message. So that's pretty neat. And I know that
Yeah,
you when you did your reading for me, it was pretty cool because I know that you started with numbers, but I
right,
knew that you were channeling spirit and you were getting other information that was not in those numbers, which is
right,
very unique to what you do,
right,
because I know that you're actually channeling the divine when you're doing that.
right.
So one of the things I would say is when you work with a client, I know you start with numbers, and there's something you named as a life path number. Is that like somebody's birthday, right? Is that the birthday
Yeah, that's the
numbers that you
birthday
start
all
with?
add up together. Yep.
Okay. And then you pull out core strengths. Does that come from this life number or just from your channeling this divine information? How do you start
That's
with
the
that?
channeling. That's really where the channeling comes in. Sometimes there are core strengths
Right.
associated with different numbers
Yes.
too, but then all of a sudden, oh, it happens to be 1111 while we're doing
Right.
this right here
Right. It
too.
does. It does
Yes.
right now. Woohoo.
And so, speaking about the 11s, if people watching this, if you're looking
Yes.
at your phone, it's 1111,
Yep.
big angel number, right?
There you
Happens
go.
in readings too.
Yes.
And then I just open up, and there are times in my readings, and I don't know if this happened with you, Rosemary, can't remember, but where I want to calculate the numbers, and they're so busy telling me stuff. I'm
Yeah,
like,
you miss it.
wait, can you give me a sec? I'm just
Right. They're
jotting
like, we don't
down
need the
notes.
numbers, Charlie. We got you. Yeah. It's funny. A lot of people that come to me, they come because they're seeing the 1111s. I'm like, that's the portal. It's like they're
Right,
kicking you through the goalpost to say, you're wasting time. You have to get on your path. Let's go. We've been sending you coincidences. You're not listening. So, that's for me. Like when people come and say they're seeing 1111, they're like, they're supposed to be doing something and they're missing the boat. It's like,
right.
let's go now. So that's pretty cool.
Yes,
Um,
yes,
hmm, okay, so when you are trying to ground yourself and clear yourself, we all have certain things we do. Like I go out for a walk, I take shoes off, I take salt baths. What are some of the clearing practices that you use to keep yourself clear from other people's energies? Because I know that when you're channeling or we're working with spirit, sometimes if we're very empathic like you and I, we collect stuff for a while till we know how to let it go. So what are
right.
some of your practices that you found helpful for you?
Well, I have to be completely honest with you on this. I am still working those out.
Okay.
And it's interesting. My wife lately has been doing the grounding out in the backyard with the bare feet and the
Yeah, there you
grounding, and
go.
I've
You got to
I've
do
been
that.
doing that
Yes.
lately,
Mm-hmm.
and I love that. I'm also a native Californian, so I kind of grew up barefoot for up until age 8, up
As
until
it
I
should
moved to
be, right?
Massachusetts.
Yes.
So there's a lot of connection. They're also connecting with nature.
Oh,
I am
yeah.
very close to at least, well, it's four now, four hibiscus plants that I have kept alive coming in, bringing them in. Now they are like they're towering. I have to cut them
Yeah.
back to even get them in the house. And I now have them in the backyard for the summer. And so I sort of meditate around those
Oh,
because
nice.
those are very grounding for me.
Yes.
And
Plants.
taking care of them, it is interesting. I don't know why they want me to bring this up now, but several people I know who are very mystical, and they may call themselves healers
Yeah.
or witches or whatever. They're like, please, you're a garden wizard. They're like,
Yeah.
you're a garden wizard. I'm like, well, it does talk to me. Like
Yeah.
the planting does ground me.
It does ground you.
And when you think of it, what's so great about that, and this only hit me maybe a year or two ago, when you have literally the dirt in your hands, that's also grounding
Oh, yeah.
and yet spiritual because all that dirt came from asteroids or whatever
Yes.
else
Yes.
over the, you know,
Millennium.
millions and
Yeah.
millions of years. So you're
They
connecting
even have
to
done
divine.
research on the ground. Like they've done research on Earth and how it creates like serotonin in your body. And I'm like, okay, that's why when I'm angry, I go out and pull weeds or I go garden because I do have an herbal garden and a vegetable garden and a flower garden by my office, and I've always been drawn to grow things. And it is very centering and grounding. And yeah, you like you're touching stuff that's ancient, really. The ground is ancient and it's from all the things that have dropped and all that. So
Right.
it's pretty cool. So my other question is when you connect with spirit, I know that you said, you have like a visual. Are you more visual or clairsentient, like clear feeling? What happens? Or does it just come in and you just know?
You know what? It's such a great question, and it's sometimes it's different, right? Depending
Mhm.
on
Yeah. Who
who
it
on
is?
the other side's communicating
Okay.
to.
Good.
I will
Okay.
tell you, bigger personalities break through faster
Like my
for
dad.
me,
Yeah.
and dads
Yeah.
of the women that I'm doing readings for,
Oh,
or the
yeah.
men, the
Yeah.
dads are like, take care of my little girl,
Yeah. Yeah.
take it, and I'm very close to my daughter. She's the
Yes.
center of my universe, so
Yes.
they know. They're
They
like,
do.
sometimes they'll be like, wait, oh my god, the psychic this time is a guy, he's straight and he's a dad, oh my
Yeah,
god.
there's a
And I'm
lot of them
like,
out
well,
there. There is.
talk to me. And
That's
they'll say
cool.
that to me, and I'll be like,
Yeah,
wow, this is a
yeah.
lively character. So that's one thing. But I was originally first and maybe foremost still
Oh,
clairaudient.
oh, very
So I'll
cool.
hear them. I'll be like, oh, the
That's
peanut
cool.
gallery. And then sometimes, and this happened in your reading, especially with people of Italian descent, they'll show me the big table of food that
Oh,
they're all
yeah.
sitting at and
Yeah.
milling around. And sometimes there's a space for somebody who's a little older who's like, well, we're ready when they're ready. And I'm like,
Mhm.
well, I don't know if I'm getting into that or not, but
Yeah.
so they talk to me first, and then they'll show me some visuals, and usually it's a visual of a dining room or a kitchen that people grew up in,
The heart of the
and
home, like
that's
the
their
heart of the home.
heaven. That's
Yeah.
their heaven, is this, or at least what they're showing me. And then though you do get the feeling like, you've seen with me,
The
my
chicken.
hair rises on my
Hmm.
arms from the
Yeah.
chills of it all. And
Yes.
people are like, how does he do that? I'm like, it's not me doing it,
Yeah,
it's
it's
them.
okay, so you just reminded me of another question. So when the angels come in for me, I get the cold chillies as well because the vibration is so high.
Right.
I've dealt with people that have a connection with ghost and spirit, but they're not trained, they don't know what they're doing, and they don't know how to set the boundary. So one of the things I was telling them, and this is something I learned, is that as a very sensitive person, we have to set boundaries around even when we're ready to channel, when we're ready to let spirit tell us something. So, how do you set your boundary? Because this would help a lot of people that are listening that have these gifts, but they have no idea what they're doing. I'm like, don't sit in a graveyard yet. Don't try to play with spirit. You got to know what you're doing.
Yeah,
You got to be
you do,
trained by someone. Yeah.
you do.
So what is your way that you create your boundary with your spirit energy when it comes in for you?
Well, for me, it's like I'm a funnel, right?
Okay.
But I'm like an upside down funnel. So I will
Right.
see it because I also want them to be specific
Yes.
too.
Okay. Okay. I
So
get
it's
it.
like I'm an upside down funnel. So I imagine an upside down funnel. And if it's just too much energy, I will imagine I am sealed in mirrors.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I'm the
Yep.
lead on the inside of the mirrors that's protecting me. But at the top, I'll leave some room so that it can just channel right in. So I'm not picking up all these other things. And
Mm-hmm.
we have to do that.
Yes.
Rosemary, don't know if you do it, but sometimes I will walking into a Starbucks
Oh yeah.
or really a crowded thing. I don't go to a lot of concerts. I'd love to, but
You're sensitive.
you're
Yeah.
just like, oh man, you're picking up on everything. Or,
Yeah.
if a smaller party is fine, bigger party, you're just like, okay, I've got to ground. Or I also do bring, and I'm famous for this, I'll bring around probably 10 to 20 crystals in my
Let's
pockets
see.
at any given time. And if for some reason I don't have them, I'm like, wait, what's missing?
You know
Wait,
what I
something's
do?
off.
I
Yeah,
was told, and this is something I learned, I cannot wear crystals. When I was first going through like a lot of this opening,
right.
crystals for me are so high vibration. I was told that it's
Mm-hmm.
so high vibration that it's like, you're out of your body half the time. So what I had to do is do the grounding stones. So like for me,
Mm-hmm.
when I go into a crowd, I wear onyx or I
Yeah.
wear tourmaline, the grounding stones.
Yeah.
And then I just surround myself with like a bubble of protective light and not
Mm-hmm.
like to be afraid of anything, but just to kind of get this love energy into my energy field.
Yeah.
Then I'm protected. But it was funny because I was with a family party yesterday, and we've got a lot of people that are deceased,
Mm,
now because of age. And
right.
I was like really tired when I came home. And I knew it's because all of the relatives and energy in that room were so intense, which was unusual for me. But I don't avoid crowds, but you do. I do my clearing, protection, and grounding before I'll go into a real busy place like New York or something.
Oh yeah.
Because that place
Oh
is
yeah.
buzzing, man. That's buzzing.
And I used to live in New York,
Did you?
okay, at a certain point, and I had to go out and live in Montgomery, New York, and commute in, which is 60 miles north.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
I'd go to Brooklyn because I just
Just away
being
from
in
that.
Manhattan, and sometimes there were a couple sublet situations where I had to stay in Manhattan. And
Yeah.
man, I was like, I can't get away from it.
Oh, yeah.
It was too much.
Yes, yes. So I know there's a difference between stuck energies like what we call ghost
Yeah,
and spirit energy that's on the other side and they're communicating back with
right.
you. All right, so I have people that have asked me, so I want your take on this. All right, if someone is stuck and they are aware of it, what can a person do? Like I say, if you're going to fool around with ghost energy, you should help them cross over instead of just being there to entertain yourself. So, like, what is your feeling of, let's say, stuck energies that are in old buildings or homes or something that's like hanging around that shouldn't be? Is there anything that you can suggest for people that are sensitive to that?
Well, what's interesting about this, and I'm so glad you brought this up,
Hmm.
because when people find out I'm psychic, or and sometimes it's in a new age store or whatever,
Yeah.
people will come up and just say to me, "Hey, I have this ghost entity and I can't shake it." Like they'll come up and I'll be like, they may have overheard me talking a little or what.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
so the biggest thing I would say, and of course it's 11:22 as we're talking about that, another
Hmm.
big
Another
combo
number.
here,
Hmm.
is white candles. White
Yeah.
candles.
Hmm. Hmm.
And and again, be careful with them. Don't leave them. And if you got cats or dogs, make sure you're watching them. But
Yeah.
still having those up in strategic places
Yeah.
in your home can, and also saying to the entities, if
Mm-hmm.
if you feel that they're troubled, or if they're doing some things that you don't like or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
go to the 25th dimension, go to the light, go to
Okay.
the
Okay.
25th dimension, and helping them to be released. The
Yes.
other thing, the other big tip, and I'm definitely channeling this
I know.
now.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So the other big tip is looking into different plants that clarify things. One of the big ones for me, and again, this happened through an animal again,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
was is Angelica
I
plant.
use that. Yes. So
Okay.
funny you say that. Angelica, frankincense, Palo Santo, and sage.
Oh,
Yeah,
and the
so saging
sage.
and sage, because I grow sage, and then I also sell sage kits and stuff, and I tell people how to use it. But that's so powerful in clearing stuck energy,
Yeah,
because my house is over 200 years old. And when
love.
I first moved in, I was getting spirit coming through the wall asking me where the light was. Was I the light? I'm like, no, I'm not the light. I'm a signpost. Bring the angels in, and I'd kind of let them go. But I'm not a medium. It's not what I do. But they were very insistent. So I had to do that. I had to sage my home. And before I bring any old antiques in any space that
Oh
I'm in,
yeah,
I sage them, because when I was a kid, my mom would bring me antique shopping, and I'd be like creeped out, because I'd be feeling like energy in that stuck to the chair, or stuck to the objects over there. So
yeah,
yeah, yeah. So you learn things along the way, right? But
you
Angelica,
do.
that's cool. Yeah. That's a
And put that, so I've planted Angelica all around my property. And again, I have a regular house and
yeah.
not a lot of property, but at the corners, and it has taken root where it's coming up all over the place. And I
Okay.
will tell you, Rosemary, it has protected us so many times
Nice.
that literally, if a tree falls in our yard, it stops before the
It
Angelica.
stops. That happened to my house too. That we had a huge hurricane come through years ago in New Jersey, which is
Yeah,
weird. But all the houses around me had trees on them, and mine had one wire that fell. That was it. Everything was protected. And I think because I have sage in the back, and
right.
I asked the angels to protect my property on all the corners. And I also have crows that drop feathers or have meetings in my backyard, and they're very protective. So I'm like, that's cool,
Well, the crows are too, but you know who we have now, and I didn't even think of this before. We have a little family of cardinals
Oh yeah, those
that
are supposed
that
to be for
are
spirit, right?
definitely, and they'll pop up all over the place.
Yeah.
And so they feel it's protected. And it's interesting when I do bring in new clients or even past clients, and I do, my living room is my office. And when I do a reading, they're like, God, it's just so peaceful. And
Peaceful.
I'm like,
Yes.
I'm glad you think so. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, we try. And with
Yeah.
all the plants, and I mean,
Yes.
sometimes the plants will even respond
Yeah.
to the clients. That I had a client who flew in from the West Coast, who I've been
Uh-huh.
giving phone readings to for years. She happened
Yeah.
to be visiting. She flew in, and during her reading, well, first of all, we figured out she was a druid in a past life,
Uh-huh.
and she
Yes.
loves woods and all of that.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
God love her. During her reading, my hibiscus bloomed. It
Oh,
had
that's
not
wild.
bloomed. It bloomed
Yeah.
while she was
I love that. I
there.
love
And
that.
I was like, oh my God. And I told her, she said, oh, that happens to me all the time.
Yes. Yeah, that's cool. I
Yeah.
have things with plants, and I also have things with animals. So they'll come out of the woods to look at me. I've been able
Right.
to like hold a hummingbird in my hand.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, drop right in my hand.
Rosemary, do you
I
sing too? Like, again, I feel like it's the
I feel
sound
like
of
I want
music.
to sing, but I can't. And I had an eagle. I asked an eagle to drop a feather for me. It was in a tree when I was working in the park. Put my hand out, and a little tiny feather dropped from the eagle. I've been gifted eagle feathers and other feathers from Native American people at powwows, telling me that it's spirit around me. I've gotten an angel. I mean, I got a bear claw. I got a turkey feather.
Oh
They
my
gift gifted me. Yeah, it's very
A
weird.
bear claw.
Yeah, I had an Indian give me a bear claw. He's like, "Come over here. I got to give you something." So okay, fine. I know I was Native American in past life
Well,
too.
that's what I was about to say. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
oh,
know.
they
I know.
know that. You know that
They
too.
know. They know. And I've always felt, I always had this energy, but
Were you the healer in that tribe? Were you like
um
the healing person? The
I
yeah,
think I was, and I might have been
medicine
a
woman.
storyteller as well, but I know
Uh-huh.
I've had lives in that, and I've had dreams of being a Native American person. I was holding a baby in my hands and I was crying because I knew I was going to die and I knew the baby was going to die. And
Mm,
I woke up like in this really powerful purge of crying. And my husband's like, "What's with you?" He's used to me waking him up. And I'm like, "The baby, the baby." And I know that child came back as my son now. But
mm,
it was very powerful. So I've had a lot of spontaneous recall of where my soul has been, which was really neat. But it's all about the now. It's like whatever we learn from that past isn't to dwell on that past, but to
right.
accept those gifts and use them now,
Yes.
without fear that we're going to be, killed for it, like we were in the past, right?
Yeah, those were some
Yeah.
tough lifetimes.
Mhm.
I'm still getting over a few of those. Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it has carried all the way through, and I'm like, okay, are
Yeah.
we finally good, everybody? Yeah.
Yeah, see, when I'm looking at you, I get a very strong past life as a female healer. Like in
Mhm.
the time of like, I'm seeing like Stonehenge, and I'm
Right.
seeing the goddess energy with you, and
Yeah.
that was like a powerful lifetime too for like, So it's interesting what you do, and like you were saying, you go out in public. I actually have to screen my third eye so I don't do that, because I don't want to run up to anybody and start reading them because it's not appropriate.
Well, it isn't, but Rosemary, I think one of the things you and I need to talk about is that you're much more of a medium than you're giving yourself credit for.
They
I
want me
do
to
want to
do
say
it.
that.
I know they want me to do it. And I know my father opened that darn door when he
He
passed over. I'm
did.
like, it's not my job. I work with angels. I don't want to work with dead people. I love you, but no. I leave
He's
it to the
like, but
people that are
please,
good
I'm
at
your
it.
angel, honey. I'm your angel. I
Oh,
thought, oh my
no.
gosh.
Yeah.
But he's such a character too. He is
Oh my
he's
God. My
he makes me
father,
laugh the whole
you
time.
would have loved him. He would enter a room and he
I
had
do
such.
love him.
Oh, you
Yeah.
do. He was so positive and so loving and so he loved everybody and he accepted everybody. I've got friends that still talk about him from when they were kids that they felt very accepted by my father,
Oh,
where
I
they might
love
not have felt that in their own life, with their own parents. And that was part of our, my connection with my father was so strong. Still
yeah.
is. It
It
still is.
still is.
He's such a dear person. And my mom too, but my dad had that huge heart. He's just a love. So, okay, so this is cool. So I want to ask you about when you started working with mediumship. I know, like with me, I started channeling. I'm basically self-taught through my experiences. Is this what happened for you, or did you do some studying with the numbers first? Like, what brought you to where you are now?
Well, it's interesting. The numbers really resonated with me, and I won't
Okay.
tell you my real age here in life right now, but because I'm so many different ages, right? If you look at the souls or whatever, and I
Yeah.
like to keep it. Well, it's not so much of a secret, but I've been doing the numbers. I was called to the numbers at 15,
Okay.
called to the numbers and angel cards at 15,
Yes.
and I was a late bloomer, so that was still sort of pre-puberty for me. Okay, so
Uh-huh.
it's sort of there was a little like maybe
Yes.
16 is when God helped me,
Yes.
everything kicked in, and everything did kick in. Like it was like, wow. Okay, so you have all this stuff going in as you're coming into adulthood and you're ready for all of this. So that was where the numbers really helped. And for me, it was really gratifying because when I did my own numbers, which again, I was led to, I was raised in a very,
Mm-hmm.
middle class family where there's no way any of my parents or anyone would have been like, oh, you're psychic. They were
Yeah, yeah,
not,
sure.
none of that.
We didn't talk
But
about that.
right, right, yeah, yeah. It's like, oh my God, wait, what? How did he know this? Oh, that leads me to another quick story. But the other thing is, um, so so it came to me through the numbers, but the numbers were seven. My numbers are 7, 11, 11, and 22.
Okay.
And the
That was
22 is there, the
yeah,
manifestation number,
right.
to build a business or help other businesses
Yes.
to change the world
Yes.
spiritually.
Love that. Love that.
Okay, it's also a workaholic number. Any 22s out there, please, it's you're looking at us, right?
I don't know. I'm pretty driven.
Oh, yeah, right. And then you have the 11s. But so I'm reading up on all of that. And it said at that point, it said the book said you're too intense for daily living, where I was like, that's not nice. And here I
Yeah.
am several decades later. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
That's true, and you need
Yeah.
to manage that. So that's
Yeah.
how I got it, and then just other things happen. Like one quick story way back, I literally came downstairs, and this is back in the time when families would watch the news
Yeah.
together on a
Yeah. Yeah.
Sunday night, right?
Sure.
Maybe right before the Disney show came out,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I walked downstairs, said to my parents, I'm like, is Billy Carter dead yet?
Oh wow.
Okay.
So you knew
And
something was gonna
I
happen.
said, and they're like, geez, we don't know. And, Billy Carter was the flamboyant, brother of President Jimmy Carter and whatever. And that night, when we're watching the news, so that morning it came down, is Billy Carter dead yet? We're all watching the news. They're like, unforgettable Billy Carter of Billy Beer fame, whatever, died today.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're looking
Yeah.
at me. I'm looking at the TV. I'm looking at them.
Yeah.
And so those things happened a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Premonitory
Right.
dreams.
Permission. Yeah. Oh, I had a lot of those too as a kid.
And you
Mm-hmm.
just can't deny them. And you can't. And
And
people will be like, oh my God, that's so crazy. Did you make that up? I'm
no.
like, I couldn't make it
How
up.
could you? And I
Right.
think that's one way spirit gets to us because we
Right.
tend to be blocked by our thinking. So I've
Right.
had so many prophetic dreams as a child, and even I just always knew stuff. Like people would talk to me even really young, and like I just knew stuff about them without them telling me. I was kind of like
Right.
reading energy from them, and it's always served me really well in my life to be able to do that and to feel safe because I knew I could kind of read into people when they didn't know. So that's a superpower.
Well, it is, and I'll give you. I never thought of this before, Rosemary. You're hitting on so many chords here. I years later, I mean, I was usually one of the nicer kids in the class. Like I just wanted
Hmm.
people to feel happy,
Everybody yes, yes,
right? And
me
so,
too.
and but I guess I would target kids who seemed really sad.
Or
I
lonely.
didn't
I
know
did the
what it
same. I
was,
did the same.
and so years later, and this has happened quite a couple of times, maybe more than a couple of times, when I befriend people years later in on Facebook, right?
Hmm.
And I go by Charles or Chuck,
Yeah, yeah,
they'd be
yeah,
they'd
yeah.
be like they'd be like, Chuck, I just want to tell you this. You were the only person who talked to me in 8th grade, and it
Right.
really made me feel wanted, and I was new to town, and
I had
you
that
just
same
you did
thing.
this. And then
Yes.
I had somebody else who was telling me in fifth, we had known each other in 5th grade. She was like, you were so kind,
Yes.
you were so giving, and you
Yes.
didn't know this, but I was in an abusive home.
I love
And
that. I love
and
that.
it's just
Yes.
I've got chills just talking about it. And I'm just like,
Yes.
I was just being a nice kid,
You were
the
just being
raised
artsy.
well, right?
Yeah, but it was more like I think spirit guides us because I was the same way, and I was at my high school reunion a year back, and a lot of people told me the same thing. And like you affected me in such a great way. I'm like, really? Doing what? Just like talking to me or telling me something I needed to know. And I just know that it was all training for working with the people that I'm working with now through my business. All the stuff that we do just kind of weaves in and out of our mission. I just wish I would have like come to this maybe 20 years ago because I've been doing it through teaching and that, but this is the next part that I was supposed to be doing that they led me to. Let's put it that way.
They did. They
Yeah,
did. And
they
that's a
led.
big part of all of this is letting yourself be led and listening to it. and opening up too, because hopefully we'll live nice, really long lives,
Yes.
so that we'll be like, oh well, when you were 55 or
Yeah, yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
oh heck, I was just a kid, lived to be
Yes.
90. It's like, well, that's a whole other career, you
Yeah.
know
It's funny because my mom lived to 96, and at my age now, like I do the numbers at night, I'm thinking, okay, I got like 35 more years maybe. And I go through the numbers like, well, I got a lot to do. I got to get going. But one of the things that I learned through the dream person, his name is Michael Sheraton, he's a dream expert. He had said to me, the angels are telling you, get out there in a big way. Go out there and like let more people know who you are. And that's basically why I did the podcast, because I wanted to step out and just like without fear, because why not, right? Just go out there and be who you are and just let it loose. Like just be you. And
right.
so I started doing that. And he said, and your other book, get that out there. So Charles, I'm going to tell you, get your book out there. And I would love
Keep
to read
going,
a
I'm working
chapter.
on it. Yep.
Seriously, send me a chapter, and
Okay.
I'd love to look at it. And if you need any advice, I'll guide you the best way that I know how.
I would
That'd be
love that,
awesome.
and I am on it, and I don't know if I told you this in that when we were doing our reading,
Yes, yes.
but about 6 months ago, my mom came from the other side, and my mom and I have always been close. Like, I've always
Mm-hmm.
been my
Mm-hmm.
mother's son.
Yes,
Dad's great too.
yes.
And she met me at our town library, and she was like, "Don't you have some overdue books?"
Oh,
And
see.
that was it. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was
She
like,
wants to tell you.
okay. And that is just how she would have done it in
Yes,
life. She wouldn't have
love
been
that.
pushy, but she
Yeah,
would have been like, I better bring this up with him because it's
right.
floating around. He's so
Floating
busy with
around.
all these other things.
Yeah, it's got
And
to
I'm his
focus.
mom, and I know he needs to finish
I
this thing.
love
So
that. Yeah, I could definitely see it. It was bothering me the other day. It's like, I got to tell you again because it's been bothering me.
stay on
To
it.
get
I'm
it
on it
out.
too.
You
Other
got to get
people
to
are
it.
coming out. They're all, and
Yeah.
it is interesting, Rosemary, and I have a little Italian in me too.
There you
The
go.
ones pushing me are my clients who are of Italian descent.
Oh, yeah, because we're connected, honey.
You are, and some Hungarians too. That's a whole other
Okay,
story.
okay, cool. Yeah. So I want to know if someone wants to reach you for a reading, and I would really encourage people to do this because it was super cool, and I loved mine that you did for
You.
me. What is your website that they can find you at?
Okay, so my website is sort of fun to remember. It's
Mm-hmm.
mypsychicsidekick.com, all
Beautiful.
together.
Yep.
And that's because I'm everybody's psychic sidekick who
Love
wants some
that.
help. I'm not
Yeah.
going to be one of these mediums who's like, domineering or anything. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
want some help? Let's work on it. I help other people to feel the more of the intuition they already have
Yes, yes.
and empower them with that.
Power it. Yep.
And so mypsychicsidekick.com, and also my email is just
Okay.
mypsychicsidekick at
At
gmail.com.
Gmail. That's wonderful. Okay, so then they could reach you there. They could book online, or
Yep.
I know that's what I did. Yeah,
Right.
it was a great experience.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I want to thank you for your time today. And this has been The Lightwalker's Path. You could also visit my website at rosemaryd.com and get inspired, book a session. So I hope that you contact either one of us and ask questions.
Both of us. Yes.
Both of us, either one, both, and comment if you see this coming across YouTube or any other Spotify or any other place that we stream. And I really thank you so much for your time. You're a pleasure.
Oh, thank you. This was so fun. I
Thank
I
you.
want to do this every week if we can.
Hey, we could do this again. I'm game. All right, let me just
Okay.
thank you.
Thanks.